Greetings, my desert dwellers. My name is Flare Blitz, and welcome to White Desert. This tells the story of Monoe's childhood friend Monoru and explores the deep bond they share together. This tale is not about making choices. That's really rare in a visual novel, not making choices, but rather about creating an atmosphere and living in the moment. White Desert is in no way affiliated with or endorsed by Yume Nikki Playism or Fangame. This game is a non-profit doujin work created for the 7th Dream Diary Jam, which took place in 2023. So let us start this adventure then. Let's see what goes forth. Breathe in and breathe out. I can do this. Can I do this? I can do this. I will put a link in the description below where you'll be able to download this game for yourselves. It was something I'd resolved to do eventually. For so long, these feelings bubbled inside of me, wanting to burst forth from my chest. But at the same time, I was afraid. How would things change if I actually went through with this? Hello. Good morning, Monoru. A girl appeared before me. Yes, a very one girl to be scared of in Yume Nikki. Was she not the one that transforms into many hands? I don't know. Her hair glimmering in the sun, her eyes delicate, her smile radiant. It's been years since I've last played Yume Nikki, so I don't know. I nearly melted as she stared at me square in the face, grinning smugly the way she often did. This was Monoe. If not for her paralyzing beauty, I wouldn't have been so taken aback by her sudden appearance. My childhood friend's habit of sneaking up on people was no longer a surprise to me after so many years. That's right. Monoe's my childhood friend. We both grew up here in this barren land. How did you get such clean clothing then if you're out here? But nonetheless, there was never really much to do here, but Monoe somehow made each day exciting. This girl is sure an enigma then. Ever since we were kids, she'd take me on make-believe adventures or dance with me in the porcelain sand. I think if there's ever a word to describe Yume Nikki, just one word to describe it, it would be enigma. We'd climb the hills together and spend many nights gazing up at the starry sky. Hey, Monoe! Nice weather we're having today, isn't it? Monoe chuckled at my joke. Exactly. Here in the White Desert, the weather never changed. The desert was always dry and arid, and the only change would be the occasional gust of wind. But my gosh, when that gust of wind hits on a hot day, it feels so good. A sudden breeze tumbled from the west, making our uniforms flutter as the wind scraped against them. We shielded our eyes from the grains of sand that threatened to blind us. When the wind died down, we looked back at one another and laughed. Nice weather indeed. So, what do you want to do today? I'm fine with whatever. I heard it has a really nice place which has other entries to other worlds called the Nexus. I really want to go there. No, we're not going there. Do you have anything in mind? I was thinking we could go to the sand dunes. Or maybe we can explore the caves again? What do you think? Why don't we go to the sand dunes? Hey, that could have been a choice there. I'm kidding. It's been a while since we've been up north. Okay. Got everything you need? My stomach spoke for me, grumbling to let Monoe know it had been a while since I had eaten. Want to come over for some grub before we head out? Monoe just laughed as she produced two lunch boxes. That would not be necessary. No need. Here you go. How considerate. Monoe had always been like this, making lunches for everyone, taking care of her sister, or just doing little things to make someone else's day better. That was the Monoe I fell in love with, huh? Monoru? Monoru, you still here? Drat. I was spacing out. Something I wouldn't normally do when Monoe was speaking. I think it's just nerves. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Monoe. Let's dig in. We happily gulped down the lunches Monoe had made for the two of us. We were both so hungry we didn't even talk as we ate. We just wolfed it down as quickly as possible. Even so, I still wanted to savour the taste of this home-cooked meal with my friend had so spaciously prepared for me. I think I read that sentence wrong, my apologies. I tried to slow down my pace a bit. This, just the two of us, eating alone, was something I could get used to. After she finished eating, Monoe stood up and started marching towards the sand dunes, swinging her arms happily to and fro. The sun beat down on the earth as if it was shining just for her, highlighting her every movement. I wanted to reach out and touch her, to confirm her existence, to make sure that she would stay with me forever, that she would never fade away. Come on, Monoru. Time's wasting. Time? What is time in this desert? There are only so many hours in a day, aren't there? And the desert is vast. There's so much more to see. I want to go even further out than the sand dunes today. I'm feeling adventurous. Monoe was right. Even if we spent our whole lives exploring this white desert, we'd likely never find an end to the vast expanse. I don't know what else lie beyond the dunes, but as long as we were together, it doesn't matter where we were. I nodded my head and followed along. We could say I respect her rather than saying I love her. But anyways, Monoe and I were side by side now. What a perfect scenario. But I didn't want to get lost in my own feelings, sorry. I wanted to keep listening to everything Monoe had to say. So, I was able to teach Monaco some new words today. Really? That's great. It's all thanks to that book you gave me. Where did you get it from again? I just found it. Oh, Ponico's library. Ah, so you know about the sea, the pink sea at the very least. In the pink sea? I remember that much. Oh, what's this Ponico like anyway? I've never met her. She's rather quiet. And there's this other girl called Madazuki. She's also really quiet. Monoe brushed her face right up close to mine and grinned mischievously, insinuating I might have some kind of crush on Ponico, as if there's only one girl for me, and it's certainly not this one for me. If only Monoe knew. If I can muster up the courage, she soon will. Lay off, will you? I playfully retorted as I drew away. Ponico's a decent girl, but she's not really my type. Oh, so you have a type. Very interesting. Tell me more. Eh? I shook my head, exhaling through my nose in a small laugh. Yes, my type is Monoe. Just how was I supposed to respond to that? Is the right time to... that's a secret. Monoe pretended to pout. Fine then. Keep your secrets. Hey, it's not like you ever told me your type either, Monoe. That's true, but unlike you, I don't have a problem with telling. This was it. A prime opportunity to get some intel. I might be able to gauge my chances with her, depending on her answer. If you must know, I like tall boys. I've got no comment for that. Tall? Tall is it to what? And they have to have hands, eyes, and hair. Yeah, because in Yume Nikki, you don't always have all of those qualities. And a face, and that as well. And clothes, preferably. So that's how it is. Very, very generic qualities. She's just messing with me. Monoe's always been a jokester, but maybe she actually does have a problem with sharing that kind of thing. She's never really talked about guys with me before. Not that there are too many here in the White Desert. Whatever the case may be, Monoe has always been a little mysterious. I want to know everything about her. But the thing is about trying to know everything about a particular person, does that person themselves know everything about themselves? I don't think any of us can truly know how we all are. And I want to know, so I want her to know everything about me too, especially the way I feel. Tell me more about the other places you've been, Monoru. Like that lake with all the dogs you mentioned the other day. And there's a really intimidating fisherman. I was happy that Monoe had taken an interest in my own adventures. I beamed as I told her all about the roads and forests and labyrinths that spanned our world away from our homeland. I enjoy wandering from region to region, exploring and collecting strange objects I find. Some of them, like the book from Poniko's library, end up in Monaco or Monoe's hands. Those two don't leave the desert often. Because of Monaco's condition, Monoe can't leave her alone in the desert for long periods of time. She can't explore for days on end like I can. That's probably why she seems to enjoy listening to my stories. Whenever we talked about things like this, the look on Monoe's face would change. She would look at me like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. As she listened to my tales, her eyes became less calculating and instead began to sparkle like a distant star. Whenever she asked me questions about my travels, or shared her opinions, her voice became like that of a flower if a flower were capable of speech, or better yet, if a flower was capable of forming in this huge, vast desert. It was at times like this when I would feel her presence closer than ever. My childhood friend turned around and skipped backwards towards the sand dunes. And my gosh, some of these dunes are very tall. We'd finally arrived. At Monoe's behest, we climbed up and over, even rolled down some of them and laughing together as we did so, and not getting sand in our mouths while we do that. It took some time, but we finally made it out further than either of us had ever been before. We've never been this far north, have we? Nope, not this far north, to say the least. No, I don't think so. We're in uncharted territory now. Then from here on out, neither of us will be the same. Walking where you've never walked before changes you. Exactly. You'll never be able to achieve something in life if you don't do something that you've never done, or never did. That was something I'd learned all too well during my explorations across the world. Only this time, Monoe was with me. It was a lot more exciting, and a lot more scary than I'd ever expected. In fact, I had no idea what to expect. There was no trail, no map, thank goodness, no traffic cones. Monoe hummed joyfully as she slid to the ground below the Jews. Well, this part of the world has not been developed yet. What the hell's going on here? It's almost like time and space has warped into the nothingness. I took a sip of water and I felt a burst of energy. Where can you find water in these endless sands? I grabbed Monoe's hand and bolted forward into the unknown. We ran far beyond the dunes, but eventually our bodies caught up to our spirits, and we fell to the ground to catch our breath. Neither of us realized as we panted and heaved that the sun had already set. We were too caught up in the thrill of this fresh, exciting experience. I stood up and helped Monoe back to her feet. But Monoe was about to say something, but stopped herself. Her eyes widened as she gazed outward. Monoru? For the first time since the start of our journey, I took my eyes off Monoe. My breath left me once again as I realized what had shocked her so deeply. Ooh, the beautiful night sky. The stars, they were different. They were the same, but different. We looked at each other with both of our mouths hanging wide open. What a lovely spectacle this is. The blue and navy blue sky up there. The stars that normally only hung from high up in the sky were suddenly all around us. In this salt flat, the ground itself had become a reflective surface. It was captivating. She was transfixed. Her hair blew furiously behind her in the night air as she smiled with wonder. It was a different smile than one that had never left her face before this moment. It was a new smile. Monoe? I turned to look at her again. Monoru? What is it? This landscape. It's like you. Okay, that line was kind of cheesy. I know that, but still. What I'm trying to say is, I know Monoru. I feel it too. I realized that my hand was still warm. For a moment I lifted her off the ground Monoe hadn't let go. I clasped it tightly as I took another step closer. And her smile faded, replaced by a look of longing. For the first time in my life, I saw what Monoe looked like, embarrassed. In spite of herself, she looked back at me, staring into my eyes intently. Monoe, For a really long time, this was it. The right place and the right time. Here, now. You really stand out to me. You know that? All the times we played around the desert back when we were kids. All the little things you do for me. I'm so thankful for all of it. I've been to dozens of places away from home, but I've never had an experience like the one we're having right now. Ooh, just the two of us. Like this. It means so much. I don't have to travel the world to find happiness. But Monoru? There's so much more life to live right here in the White Desert. And I want to do that with you, Monoe. I don't want to ever be apart from you. I love you so much, Monoe. And for the first time, I think, before I'd finished my long-winded confession, Monoe had spun her head forward and pressed her lips against mine. Aww. When she had finished, she looked up at me with a grin. The same smirk smile I've always known her for had returned. Even though we had both changed in many ways, she was still the same Monoe I fell in love with. I pulled her close, burying my head in her warm embrace. And she did the same. I could feel her heartbeat. I could hear the moonlight applauding us, consenting to our newfound love. This perfect moment. It was electrifying. It was calming. It was overwhelming. Oh my gosh, so many emotions which are contradiction towards one another. It was like coming home. It was like something out of a dream. And that is White Desert. A small story that you could consider its own universe that's branched off from the original White Desert in Yume Nikki. So it made references towards the Pink Sea, which I really love, and the fact that there are traffic cones as well. I love those little nudges, I really do. It's been years since I've last played Yume Nikki, so when it comes to all of the different intricacies around that tale, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I know bits and pieces, but at the same time, I really do not know a lot about this really bizarre, enigmatic tale of Yume Nikki itself. But anyways, White Desert. It was a pleasant little experience. I loved it. Thank you so much for watching. There is a link down in the description below where you'll be able to download this game for yourselves, for you to play. Please go and check it out for yourselves and play it at your own pace. Thank you so much for watching and take care of yourselves, everyone.